beautiful.
Hi.
Hello.
How are y'all doing?
Hello.
Hello.
So, Noah and Eric asked me to swing by and speak. You're probably thinking, who the heck is this guy? Who I am is a BNI veteran. I've been 14 years with BNI Action Partners. We're currently a 76-member chapter. We've been as large as 100. This is what 14 years of BNI looks like in the previous world. One ribbon for each year of service or each job that I did. I've been the president. I've been the vice president twice. Membership committee, executive, education coordinator, mentor coordinator, everything except visitor host coordinator is a role that I've held. I don't say that to brag. I say that because I learned a lot in that, and I learned a lot from the people around me at Action Partners. We were as large as 100 people at one point. We lost 30 during COVID. I know that you all had some COVID attrition as well. That was hard on every single chapter. That COVID time where we went to Zoom and some people really liked Zoom and some people joined because of Zoom, and then we lost some people, and then we honestly as a chapter didn't handle it well. We lost more than we should have. But we inducted 9 new members in the last 45 days. And I'm a BNI evangelist. BNI changed my life. It changed the life of a number of people in our chapter. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that today. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, that's our group. I took the picture from the stage as we were inducting 3 new members last week. So that's literally a week old of the people looking up at the stage from where it is that we meet. So what's the secret? We're the biggest chapter, at one point we were the biggest chapter in the United States. We're currently the biggest chapter in Colorado by far. I argue that there's something different. And what's different about us? I'll give you a short story. I'm in my mid-50s. I've done groups like this other than BNI before. And the first one I did was Ollie Lawson's Leads Club. There was 20 of us, we met for lunch. And we had a guy leave who ran a venue for events. And I was in charge of membership at the time, and I said, why did you go? What happened? And he said, I joined Rotary. Rotary? Well, Rotary's not Leads. Rotary's like give back to the community. He said, yeah, but the people there are successful and planning on giving back. They're there to give back. And way more business happens at Rotary than ever happened for me at Ollie Lawson. Because the people there had a giving mindset to start with. Then I went to Colorado Business Leads. It was a chapter that was smaller than this one. Mortgage loan positions are tough to come by. So when a mortgage loan position opened up, because the guy, the realtor at Ollie Lawson's was not using me, I went to this other Colorado Business Leads chapter, and the chiropractor badmouthed the insurance agent. The insurance agent said, my friend recommended me to a different lender. I'm going to use them. I've been there 3 weeks. That chapter started to come apart, and the landscaper from that group left. And I took on the president's position because I was committed to making it grow, because it's so tough to find a job, a group like this as a mortgage lender. But the landscaper called me, and he said, they just threw the mortgage lender out of our chapter. You've got to come see what's going on here. And I went to that group, and it was 50 people. And I met the realtor, and I stalked him. I met some of the other people in the chapter, and I stalked them, and I got in, and it has changed my life. Not just mine, but others. But what's the secret? The secret is the culture. It's living the motto. It's giver's gain. Right? And I tell, when new people join and I mentor them, I tell them that there's 3 different categories in our chapter of people. There are a group of people who their business is yours because you're there. Because either they get it as the mindset, or because it feeds their family, or it's changed their life. But for whatever reason, they're giving you their business, and it's yours to blow it. It's yours to make the mistake. And you can, but they're going to switch everything that they can to you. When I joined my chapter, I was already with State Farm. I had been trying to get my State Farm agent to join Ollie Lawson's, and I tried to get my State Farm agent to join Colorado Business Leads, and he wouldn't. And there was a State Farm agent in my chapter, and I said, I'm moving my business team. She said, they don't like that. And I said, I don't care. Because you're supporting this chapter, you're going to get my business. Now, she has only passed me 2 leads in 14 years. That's okay, because she is always in the top 5 of thank you for closed business and referrals given. She's not in the right spot to refer me, right? Nobody goes to their insurance agent and says, I need a mortgage lender. They go to their mortgage lender and say, I need an insurance agent. I refer her consistently every single time I talk to a client. And I have done that from day one. She refers everybody else, and everybody else refers me. And that's okay, right? But the culture is, we try to outgive each other. We're fighting over who has the most thank you for closed business and who has the most referrals. The difference between Action Partners and what happened at Ali Lasson's and what happened at Colorado Business Leads was that the people at Colorado Business Leads were saying, as soon as you pass me a lead, I'll think about passing you a lead. The mindset at Action Partners is, I want to be at the top of the chart for referrals. I want the blue badge. You used to give these out. Total networkers got blue badges. I want the black badge. Right? I want the pin that says that I got 6 new members to join. I want to outgive people. We have a giving and a growth mindset. But what that means is the people in the chapter lead by example. The core group of the 5, they go through and they look at leveraging their database. How can I introduce you to my clients? Right? You may be sitting here saying, I'm a little scared about introducing you to my clients. Like, I don't know that I want to introduce. Noah, you're not a member, so I'm going to pick on you. I don't know that I want to introduce Noah to my clients because Noah might not be great. Knock it off. If that's your mindset, I'm not sure that it is. I'm not suggesting that it is. I'm just supposing we have some of those people in our chapter. Knock it off. Refer by default. If you need to caveat it, you need to say, if you need a script to use, you can say, hey, I'm going to refer you to somebody that I know that's in a group that I'm a part of. They seem really great to me. I haven't used them, but I know that I can hold them accountable and you can count on them because I can hold them to that. Let me know how it goes. I think they're awesome. I've met them, I'm getting ready to use them, but you should probably use them too. Now, you've given a passionate, strong referral, not as good as you can, not as good as I encourage you to do, but better than not referring at all or referring someplace else, right? So my scare, don't be scared for your database. If you can hold people in the room accountable for the referrals that you give, you're doing your friend a favor. You're not doing Stephen a favor. You're not doing Eric a favor or Noah a favor. You're doing your friend a favor by introducing them to somebody that you know they can count on because you know you can count on it and you can hold them accountable. So how does that work? How does that look in real practice to get members to join, to grow? I think we added 90 people. You think we got a lot of open categories with 75 members? The easy ones are gone. We have 5 different attorneys, right? The president has to be on it. Positive, upbeat, and on message. Eric, I'm calling you out, right? When I was president, we grew from 80 to 100. And my take in it, when I stood in front of the room, was I used scripting that I got from my church. My minister would say, we are so glad that you're here. You were an answered prayer. We are so thankful that you came in the door today. We were looking forward to seeing you. As the president, Eric should be saying to the visitors that come in, we are so glad that you're here. We're thankful to see you. I hope I'm not the first one to say welcome. I'm sure I'm not because the visitor hosts are on it. But if I am, welcome. We're glad that you're here. We know it's early in the morning and we're thankful that you came. Okay? The visitor hosts have to be on it. You got to be here to meet the visitors when they come in and tell them how grateful and thankful you are that they showed up. If you came into this room and it's a little bit of a smaller group and you guys are trying to grow again and you got that kind of energy, would you be more excited to stick around? Right? We're so glad that you came. We've been looking just for somebody like you. The membership committee has to be on it. The membership committee has to protect that culture. And when they're interviewing people to allow them in, you have to tell them, hey, we really like to take care of each other here. We try to bring referrals to each other on a weekly basis. Recognize that we're probably going into a little bit of a recession or a large bit of a recession. Not sure yet. This will attract people. During 2008, we had people in my chapter stand up and say, I don't know how I'm going to feed my family. I need another couple of referrals. Can anybody help me out? And all of a sudden, they got a couple more referrals. Right? Be selective. Membership committee, be selective. Protect that culture that you're trying to build. We had 3 exercise coaches show up one time. We interviewed all 3 of them. It was supposed to be a cage match. We took none of them because one of them was a moderate part-timer and the other 2 had all the wrong attitude. They just oozed take rather than give. Right? They talked about different situations that they've been in and it didn't make sense, and our membership committee protected the chapter and said no. The mentors have to be on it. When I meet with my new mentors, my new mentees, I say, the first people you should meet with are the people who are a part of your passport. Right now, that may be everybody in the room right now. I don't know it might be close to it, but let's suppose that you double in size. First people you should meet with is everybody in your past work, because they're the people who have been in the chapter a while and they know what's going on, and you're going to get something out of that. The second people, here's the key. The second people that you should meet with are the people who you think you can give business to. Because nothing says you get it and belong here and you'll fit into our culture like standing up and saying, I have 3 referrals this week. Because there's the group that are going to give you all kinds of business, and then there's the core, there's the center part of the chapter, about 40% of the chapter, that's waiting to see if you make it and stick around. Because we have so many people in our chapter that I can't meet them all. If I do a one-on-one a week, I don't get through everybody in a year. Right? So some people step back and they say, I want to see if you're going to make it or not. Nothing says I'm planning on making it like standing up and saying I have 3 referrals. What message as mentors are you sending to your new people when you tell them to meet with the people they can give first, because we want to know that you're one of us, that you have the right culture? You reinforce that and you grow it from the beginning. So what would I do if I were in your chapter? The time to be growing is now. The reason the time to be growing is now is because everybody else is sleeping through Thanksgiving and Christmas. People start to close up, right? Mortgages and real estate closes up, roofing closes up. You know, you're telling people that they should be doing roofing because we're continuing to do business in the winter, because people don't think that's the case, right? This is the time to be reaching out because people have time to talk to you. They're not too busy. I do a visitor's day. Action Partners went from 20 people to 60, 50 people in like 3 weeks because everybody in the room brought 3 people to a visitor's day. And the visitors didn't know the chapter was only 15 people big because there were 60 people in the room and they lined up to apply. And the energy was good. We're so glad you're here. We got business for you, right? You might want to, as the bucket goes around and you talk about the business that you're passing, if you have a visitor in the room, or even if you don't, you have a category that you're looking for, you might talk about the referrals that you have for that person who's not here. That says something to the visitor that's in the room. That also says something to the other members of the chapter of the kind of people you're looking for, right? So that they can think about who they should be inviting. Oh, wow, I know a CPA, right? And then the CPA walks in and Noah walks up to the CPA and says, I got 4 referrals for you. You really need to join this chapter. Goals for growth. We're doing contests right now. I don't know if you all have it in your budget or not, but we're rewarding people for bringing visitors. One more thing I wanted to touch on Visitors Day. Don't sell BNI. Don't say, you know, we pass referrals and the model is great and you really, you know, you're going to, they say, well, how much is it? You say $700 or $800 or whatever it is now because I bought a 3-year membership, I don't remember. What you say is, you say, oh, you just got to come check this out. The energy in the room is fantastic. Right? You get them here, and then if you're doing these previous things that we talked about, the mentor's on it, the president's on it, the visitor host is on it, and the energy's right, then they want to join, and they sign up. And they don't ask why. You potato chip marketing. You give them a little bit, you invite them, and you give them a little bit more, and they show up, and you welcome them, and you give them a little bit more, and then whoever your closer is at the end who says to the visitors, you really need to join, they finish the deal. And they're the ones who have to sell the $800, right? All right, so the result. What does this mean in my chapter? The electrician borrowed the money to apply. He now runs a 15-person shop that does $5 million a year. The realtor had been at it 6 months, but he had so much energy, they gave him the spot anyway because that spot's so valuable. He's now a diamond producer for RE/MAX, which means he earns $1 million a year in commissions. He's traveling from city to city, going to other BNI chapters, saying, if you got people moving to Denver, send them my way. If I have people moving to Minneapolis, I'll send them yours. That's like a core of his business model right now. The HVAC and plumber, they both run small shops. They have 2 or 3 employees. When they came, they were solo practitioners. Now they have 2 or 3 guys. These 2 guys go travel the world together. We're always jealous seeing the pictures come back because they're in Iceland, or they're in Machu Picchu, or they're living their best life. The roofer sold her roof, started as the salesperson, bought the owner out and sold the roofing company, and is now working as an engineer, and her husband is now starting a new roofing company because she attributes it to our chapter. Me. I started as a solo practitioner. At one point I had 3 branches in 2 states. At least 40% of my personal production comes out of BNI. and I'm one of the top 20 producers in our company. But here's the one that's really cool. If you have this mindset, if you start to become a family because you love on each other and you try to give each other business, one of my counselors said once, if you want to love somebody, the emotion, love them the action. If you want to love your wife, love your wife. If you want to love your husband, love your husband. If you want to have the emotion, practice, do nice things for her. Look out for her best interests or his best interests. Love them the verb and you'll love them the emotion. The asbestos company owner, his son died 2 weeks ago. I've never met the kid. 60 people from our chapter went to that funeral because they reached out to him because he's an active member and he was hurting. And because we had been doing these things for him and he had been doing these things for us, we love him. And we reached out to him. And we call ourselves a family. Sometimes we shouldn't, because a business group needs to do business, and sometimes we are a little maybe too much a family, to be honest. But that's the secret sauce. And it comes from trying to outgive each other, if that makes sense. It starts with a positive emotion and attitude that brings people into the room so that they can feel that ooze out of you. I hope that this has been valuable to you. I've been asked to give this presentation a few times, largely because of the mentor program that we built at Action Partners and the involvement and the engagement that it creates. But it's all in the secret sauce, and it's all in a culture of trying to outgive each other. You may be thinking that, oh wow, that sounds a little bit, voodoo magic and maybe manipulative. No, because actually loving on each other makes your life better too. I do it because it's good for business. It's also really good for me, right? It's good for my soul. It's good for my essence. It's good for my business, but it's also good for my love of life. And it makes me want to do things like come here and tell you guys about it. I'm a Kool-Aid drinking, card carrying, flag waving BNI evangelist because it changed my life. So I hope that you all find that here. You're at kind of a point where the core of you have got to get all in and make it grow, or you're going one direction or the other, right? You're going up or you're going down. So I say jump on it. Get active, get engaged, and bring a visitor's day in and get a bunch of people in the room and get some energy. Because the core here, from what I met earlier, y'all are awesome. You're great people. You've got a good group. Not like my Colorado business leads, they were awful. All of them. Like with 2 exceptions, they were not people I wanted to do business with. You guys have got a good core here. Jump on it with both feet. Because it's way easier than trying to build one from scratch or go someplace else where you don't have that solid core. Right? I hope this was helpful.